What's up, guys? Ryan on Gaming. Andrew has a good topic. He says, AP Andrew says, ROG topic, why are people willing to buy practically the same game every year? Example, NBA 2K, COD, FIFA, Madden, etc. So, Andrew, that's a good little topic. Why are people buying, generally speaking, the same games every year? Which, immediately I want to say they're not necessarily the same games every single year, especially your example of Call of Duty. I mean, it's okay if you don't like Call of Duty, but that game is obviously different every single year. I mean, just because the game plays the same and practically feels the same when you're actually, playing it, it's quite obvious the game is completely different every single year. There's completely different story, completely different online components, completely different guns, weapons, but, don't get me started, Andrew. The game's completely different. But, I mean, sports games are obviously a good example in that sense because typically those games just have like a updated roster and then new modes or something like that. But, why are people willing to buy those games every single year? Good question. And the thing is, I mean, a lot of people that generally buy those things every single year, that's just what they're into, I guess. I mean, at the end of the day, that's kind of really like the most concrete answer for you is that that's what people are really feeling. That's what people are really feeling. That's what people are really into. I mean, if we're going to talk to sports games, it seems like more often than not, people aren't buying it every single year, but like they're buying it maybe every other year or something, just to like check out the new modes or something, or they really want to jump into the new roster at that point. But even still, I mean, specifically with sports, I mean, sports people are, they're really into their shit. They love sports, and that's just like what they're into. That's their passion, it's their hobby, and it's just, when they also like video games, it seems like a no-brainer to buy it every single year, and it becomes kind of a little bit of a tradition. Like, oh, what's the next Madden gonna have? What's the next NBA gonna have? And typically these games are offering modes where you can carry over your data or something, or there's like a classic mode that's coming back the next year, or there's a mode that is being really capitalized on that the developer knows, like, the way those games are typically released, because they're like often like very similar every single year. It's a good opportunity for the developer to experiment with the game a little bit. Try a new mode. If people don't like it or don't play it as much, they'll get rid of it next year. A new mode that is really fun and people really enjoy it, they'll add more options to it and stuff next year. And I guess that's one of the elements of why people are constantly buying it, because not only do they like the sport that they're buying into, but they want to check out all that new stuff that is typically in the game. And yeah, you do get like the stuff that's expected, the roster updates and everything. So it's really for the sports junkies. And if you do want to talk Call of Duty and why people are buying it every single year, it kind of goes into our Call of Duty topic we did, where it was like, when is Call of Duty gonna die? It's like when the market decides they don't want to play Call of Duty anymore, but like the game is still very fun. I mean, fun's subjective. I mean, again, you're more than welcome to not like Call of Duty. I know people, a lot of people don't like Call of Duty, but at the end of the day, the game sells millions of copies. Millions of people are playing it every single day online, and it's always like a big event when a new Call of Duty comes out. It's kind of a no-brainer as to why people are buying Call of Duty every single year, because people enjoy that game. They legitimately do like it, and objectively speaking, the game is always very good. And when I say objectively, I mean like it's a well-made video game. I mean, Activision's giving it 2 years development time for the cycle of how they do it now, and the games are very polished when they do come out. They are very polished video games, and they are very good. So that is also kind of like an easy way to see why people are buying it every single year. And I mean, there's some other examples. I mean, Assassin's Creed going to be a yearly franchise now? I mean, that's another game that people are really enjoying, and yeah, that's not the same game every year. It's just not. They completely make a new story for every game. They'll do a new setting for Assassin's Creed. They got all these new characters. They like to stay authentic to the era when they can. I mean, there's a lot to that game series as well, and I can see why people enjoy it. And it just becomes a little bit of a habit for people. I mean, you buy a game, you enjoy it, and a whole year goes by. And a year is essentially still a pretty long time, especially for playing one single video game, assuming you're playing it for the entire year. Or maybe you don't play it for the entire year. You only play it for the first 2 months, the first 3 months. But that's the thing. It's the whole year goes by, and then, boom, another one's ready. And it's got all this new stuff. It's got all these changes and updates, and people get excited for it once again. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to go out and get the new one, see what that one's all about. And then that's when, like, how many games have been released at that point, and then it builds this little conversation of, oh, I like this one, but not that one, and oh, I can't wait for, when are they going to bring this mode back from the one that was released 3 years ago, or I really miss this, I really miss that. Just kind of how it goes. Andrew, thank you so much for that topic. I really enjoyed that one, and if you think you have a topic that I would enjoy to record for this YouTube channel, then by all means, I implore you to write it in the comments below, because then I'm going to record it, I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to put it up on this YouTube channel. We're going to have a good time.